So, hi everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fuck Your Feelings, the show. I am joined by my special guest, Courtney, who was recently on Kendra G. So, I'm going to give people some background because I wouldn't call myself a Kendra cousin, but I would definitely call myself a Kendra fan. And so, how Courtney and I even started having a conversation was I commented on someone else's video. And it was a young lady who had also had multiple children by multiple men. And I think the like my comment was something like, at what point do you like learn? Like after the second baby daddy, like where do we learn? And then you kind of jumped in and you gave me a perspective that I don't often consider. And then Courtney ended up being on the show. I made another comment on another post, and she said, "Hey, girl, by the way, I was on the show, and I mentioned my conversation with you." And I thought, "Oh my God, that's amazing." And so I went to watch your episode, and I was like, "Okay, I have to have you on the show because the concept of my show is to change the conversation around Black relationships." And that's romantic relationships and familial relationships and community relationships. So for me, when I hear situations like yours, I start to question, how did we get here? So I guess that's my first question.
Yeah, so absolutely. The first assumption is there was no daddy in the home. And it's completely incorrect. My mother and father were married up until my father passed in 2021 from COVID. Ooh. So 40 years. They were married 40 years. And that's something that I've wanted and tried to replicate when I was younger without really the knowledge and understanding of what it takes to be married for 40 years, right? Education was pushed. My mother has multiple degrees, including her master's in business administration. She has a psychology degree. And I laugh because people think, oh, let me figure her out. Girl, no. Good luck. My mom can't do it. Daddy had some college. I went to college. I started school early. So I graduated at 17, was accepted to college at 16. So intellect really has no bearing on matters of the heart, as my mom would say. Single mom of five of five. My oldest is 20, sophomore mechanical engineer. Then I have a 16-year-old, 13-year-old, 7-year-old, only girl, and baby boy is 3.
And thank you for giving me that background. I think that background is important because, again, we have preconceived notions when we hear people's stories. Mm-hmm. We try to fill in the gap, right? We try to fill in the gap where we can and go, well, like you said, 5 kids by 5 dads, you probably, by 5 men, you probably didn't grow up with a father. So like my question to you is, you have parents that were married for 40 years. You have grandparents that were also married. You're one of two. You saw kind of that love in the home. When you were growing up and you were thinking about growing your family, were you the type of woman who was like, I want a bunch of kids and I want to be married when I have them? Like, what was your thinking at, say, 16, 15, those ages?
Yeah, out the gate, I knew I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom with a bunch of kids. 4 kids to be precise. I wanted exactly what I had, and then my baby Portland came along and disrupted that. But I wanted 3 boys and a girl, and that's what I had in that order. Wanted the boys first because it's just me and my sister, and so I always thought, oh, it would have been fun to have like a big brother, to protect you or whatever. And absolutely, some people are like, I don't know if I want kids. They kind of vacillate back and forth. I don't know if I want to get married. Out the gate, that was what I wanted. There was no plan B. There was no thought of if you get married and it doesn't work. Like divorce was never, it was just going to work. But again, very young and not understanding what it took for that to occur.